Well, as you guys saw in the last video, we got our first opening framed in. Today, we got a few things to tackle. It's gonna be a hard day to get much work done. It's a gorgeous day. Barge traffic is pretty heavy today. This is the second, maybe third one of the day. They're coming up and down. However, we still have work to do. And the first thing we got to figure out today, we took that door out. Now we got to figure out how to get it to the ground. I really don't want to play 1.2 million glass piece pickup. So I've done some research. This door weighs about 200 pounds. Maybe just shy of that, about 175. That's about the same that I weigh. So realistically, we're only putting 350 to 400 pounds on the man lift. I'm gonna do a test pick, I believe, with the man lift, strap it to the front side of the man lift after I'm inside of the man lift, and lift it up off the deck, see how it feels, and then try to go, as long as it feels well, nice and easy away from the deck and straight down to the ground to unhook it and then slide it over out of the way. So we're gonna cross our fingers on this one and hope the man lift does good picking it up. I've got the man lift as close to the building as I can get and still have it sitting level where it will actually come up to this elevation. So let's see how this goes. Well, I might have got a little too close. Need to get in the man lift and pull it the rest of the way over. This is where, if that hoist framework and everything would have been in better shape, you could have used that to get it down, but that's not an option. Come on, door. Play nice. Or not. You know, ultimately, if it ends up on the ground, it ends up on the ground, but hopeful that it doesn't end up on the ground in a whole bunch of pieces. Hell yes. But the only way I can tie this thing off, I'm going to have to peg it in the center. All the weight's going to be on one side, so I'm hopeful that I can get it over here, get it lashed off in the center, and then somehow rig it to where it'll hold. Well, let's lean her up against the wall here and get our lift a little higher and see what happens. Looks like we need to go up just a little bit. Here, and yes, it's going to slide down a few inches, but that's okay. If I have to cut the rope off later, so be it. Well, see what happens while we're over the deck. like we need to tie her a little tighter.
Oh, come on, you went through there.
Now what we got to figure out is how to lash that bottom left corner so it's supported and the whole thing doesn't just spin. So let me figure that out. We'll be back. Well, we have ourselves the door. We're lashed off. It's lashed off. It's hanging free. So now we're just going to take our time, go nice and easy to where we can suck ourselves all the way back in and then come down. Let's see how this goes. I got my fingers crossed because this is one of those things where, well, guess what? If the entire man lift goes over, there's nothing I can do about it because I'm hooked to it. I'm talking myself into thinking negatively. Let's not do that. Let's get this door to the ground so we can get some more material up, build some more stuff. Nice and easy. Working so far. The closer I get to the ground, the more comfortable I will feel. We've got, oh, I don't know, 25 feet to go, 30 feet, roughly. But we're making it. We don't miss any obstructions. I think this will work out pretty good. Bam! Door's still there. Get that threshold on the ground and then suck myself back in to lay that door down, if you will. Now we got to do two functions at once, I think. Don't break it, man. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Loose. This one's loose. We made it. I wish I had to do that 4 more times throughout the process of framing in these openings. We're going to get this door untethered. We're going to pack it over here out of the way. We're going to get some materials to the top. Well, the first and maybe not the hardest step, but one of the more difficult, questionable ones is getting that door down there. You guys saw we got it down there. We got another load of materials up here. The plywood is to go on the outside here. I did nail off another board, that goes from each 4x4 to the other. I also nailed it off to the wall that we built. So we're going to take this outside 2x4 off, which kept the building square and plumb, if you will. We're going to take this off to put our plywood on, which then, once the plywood is on, it'll allow us to take this board off. So if I was to take this board off without that board on the inside and no plywood on it, the building would just shift back right to where it started. So whenever I don't want that, we're going to get this board off of here and get us some plywood tacked on. Come on. There we go. Take these nails out, start throwing some plywood on. I can guarantee you one thing, this board here will get reused. Four holes never hurt nobody. Get our nail gun a little closer to us here. Need to get me one of those pieces that go on your nail gun so that it's actually hanging, like right there. That'd be nice. Oh, we don't have those niceties yet. Yeah, I can grab that. Looks like we got a couple of things that I didn't pay attention to that I need to get off of there before we can put this on. So, hold on. All right, we got everything out of our way now. So I think. There can always be something else. That's gonna get us pretty close. Get our nail gun and start tacking her off. That one's in the way just a little bit. Miss? Good now. Hitting something. It's caught on that deck board over there. That's not good. We fixed it though. Now she's nailed in. Come across our window bottom plate. one to nail in there. Two. That's where the plywood was hitting on the deck board there, which I've got it flexed a little bit right now, but once we trim this off right down through there, which gets us to this 4x4, everything will fall into place. Well, there's one sheet of plywood. We're gonna go get our tool where we can cut out this window, and then we will get us some measurements and cut our top piece of plywood. Well, I did go get my tool. Someone broke my tip out of there. I don't know who broke it, but here's what it is. We're gonna do it the old school way and go with skill saw, finish corners out with sawzall. So let's get to cutting with a skill saw. Get our sawzall out of the way. Get our blade depth set a little bit more shallow. Not all the way, because we do want to run down this 2x4. We're going to use it as a guide. Well, our piece cut out. Now the beauty of that piece, we can slide it right up inside of our header here to get the actual and proper way to get that header in there. Yes, I have to cut it to the right thickness, but instead of this piece being waste, we'll be able to take that piece, trim it to the proper size, slide it up in there, nail it off, and then our header will be made the way we like it. We've got our 5.5 inch piece cut. Let's get her installed. This here is the actual cutout. That's going away. It almost starts to beg the question, we're wasting an awful lot of this sheet here. What if we were to just, what I was getting at there was, instead of cutting a U shape out of this piece of plywood that we're basically cutting now, you know, it goes up, over, and down. I could put in a small piece here, and I could put in a long skinny piece here and a small piece here, and I would probably save quite a bit of plywood. I'd rather not waste plywood if I can keep from it. Heck, I got a piece right there that's going to make some of it up, and then all I'd have to do is rip the top to go all the way across. I think that's what we're going to do to conserve material. Instead of doing everything that I just did and cutting it, I think we're going to conserve material, and we'll put pieces up there and trim it out. We've got the full sheet on the bottom. that's the bulk of everything that needs to keep this building from shifting side to side. And we're going to have another one here and 5 more of them suckers, plus the back there. So I think we're going to piece the top together.
1, 2, 3, come on!
Well, we have our plywood on there. You guys now have a really good visual of what each of these total of 5 walls is going to look like. We've got 4 more to go. But now we got to get some house wrap on this one. It is supposed to rain today, maybe even yet here within the next half hour or so. It's starting to darken up, but we got to get that house wrap on here stapled off to get this more waterproofed. And then if we find the time before it starts raining to put a window in, we will. What I got to figure out is, does it make more sense to put a window in, or does it make more sense to start building another wall? So let's get some house wrap on and we'll go from there.
1, 2, 3, come on!
Well, we've got our house wrap on. We left ourselves long over here so we can overlap the house wrap that'll come in behind it when we put this wall in. We've got our house wrap cut and stapled off to our window seal to help waterproof that. We've got this extra long bottom. I know I could have trimmed the house wrap roll down to be the right height. And we also know that we're going to have a wall coming in from here, angling down to that 4-foot mark there on the outside. So I may long-term pull this house wrap up and put it over top of the sheathing that goes on top of the truss, if you will. Not for sure yet, but with the weather holding off, I think the next step, we're going to go ahead and put a window in here so that we're at least weather tight, if you will. The more we keep this thing dry, the better. I've never installed a window before in my life, so this could be interesting. I did buy new construction windows. I've got a flange all around the outside edge. I framed the hole 1 inch larger. The window is going to have 1/2 inch all the way around it, so I'm sure we're going to have to shim the bottom. We might nail those off first, get a 1/2 inch, slide the window in, tack the outside off, go in and shim it properly, cut our shims, etc. That's my assumption as to how this is going to go, but let's go get a window. For you window installers out there, you guys you gotta keep in mind, I've never done this before, but I'm gonna put me some silicone all the way around this flange, if my daggone caulk gun will keep working. Oh, come on. Well, I might put me some silicone all the way around this flange. I don't have another one of these here either. What is your problem? Jeez, this is gonna be fun. Looks like it's time for a new caulk gun, Matt. Oh, the struggle is real. By the way, we have a great, I mean great local window supplier. The name of the company that I got the windows from is Thomas Glass. Hopefully I remember to tag them in this video. In today's world of getting product in, it's kind of tough. These guys got me these windows in 4 weeks, which I felt was, dang, that was a lot. 4 weeks I felt like was a great lead time. I don't know what you guys are dealing with out there, but I thought that was pretty good. Are you gonna work now, caulk gun? Sure would be nice if you did. Sure would be nice if you did. All right, get rid of that stupid thing. Get you guys turned up here where you can see this thing go in the hole. Hopefully, I don't get caulk all over my hands. Oh, looky there. It fit. That's always a positive thing. There's one screw. Now one can only assume you don't use every single hole, do you? I don't think I'm going to. Start with a screw in the center of everything, then probably each corner and one in between maybe. I don't know why you would need that many screws, but I'm sure somebody's gonna say you're supposed to use every screw, Matt. Every screw hole is there. Use them. We're not going to. In case any of you were wondering, we're not going to use them all. There's got to be another one right in there somewhere. Nope. That's 3, 4. My goodness gracious, that's got to be plenty of screws. Uh-oh, that hole's not all the way through. We'll make it all the way through though. Oh. Get caulk on you. It's a little slippery. One more on the top here. A few more on the bottom. We'll go in and see if it works. A lot of you are probably saying, oh my gosh, you should have seen if it worked before you screwed it all the way off. Well, guess what? We're going big or we're going home today. So we're gonna screw it off before we try it. What do y'all think about that? Another screw out there. There she is. Window number 1. Looks like where, oops, sorry about that. Put y'all right in my face. Looks like where it got shipped, there's a little bit of a corner pushing off there, but we may end up coming back and putting a screw in there to hold that down. But she screwed off. Probably take us a piece of wood and smear that stuff around before it gets hard so we don't end up with big old bubbles that our J-channel is going to sit right against here, go all the way around. Let's go ahead and see if it works. All right, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. I probably should have checked it before I screwed it all the way off, but it fit in there so nicely. And we're gonna foam all the way around the window. We've got the flange caulked. It is setting down here on the bottom plate. Maybe I should have ran a bead of caulk underneath here, but I feel like that caulk on the outside will keep air from coming up in there, and I'll still run a bead of caulk against this before we finish it, but here goes nothing. Well, it didn't move after I unlocked it. Oh, wow. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Now, again, for all you window professionals out there, tell me what I did wrong, because I do like to learn. And I typically do respond to all the comments, which means I read them. So tell me what I did wrong, if anything. If I did nothing wrong, tell me what I can do better, because I do like to learn, as I stated. These are low E windows. If you guys remember the video where I tore the floor up in here, and it was a green color all up in here, but back here in the back corner, it was the brown because the sun hadn't made it to it. These windows are low E so that it won't change the color of our floor. It's supposed to block out the UV. And again, this is a 3 foot tall, 4 foot wide window. And these two on the outside edges will be operational, but the 3 in the front will not be, because this right here blocks a whole lot of the view. But as you guys can see, there's not much view here. You can see a little bit there, but once you come over here, if I don't kill myself trying, and you look out here, there, and there, that's where the view is. So I didn't want it obstructed with that window that could open and close. So these 3 is just solid windows. They're called picture windows. They don't open, they don't close. They're just there for you to see through. And we'll be able to clean this window by opening that window and using a long squeegee, if you will. We'll be able to clean this window from that one. That window is going to be the big question mark, and we'll have to figure out what we're going to do to clean that one. But at this point, that's far, far, far down the road. All right, before we call it quits on the window, we got to get our seal tape on here. That way it makes a good watertight seal all the way around the window. And again, I'm no expert at this stuff, but oh man, water goes downhill. So you always start on the bottom. Once you get your bottom piece, everything else goes over top of that. So, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that. This stuff has gotten wet before, so I actually might have to, I know it might defeat the purpose a little bit, but I actually might have to staple it on. Not for sure yet, we're gonna find out. Got some stickiness to it. Paper got wet, so it doesn't come off as nicely as if it was brand new. Remember that old comment, I use what I got? This is from building my house in 2008. That doesn't tell you guys how much of a hoarder I am. All right, let's see if we can get anything to stick. We're gonna play nice today. Looks like it's playing nice so far. So we'll see if it actually stays there. Now the reason I start the bottom Told you guys I'd show you. When I put this piece on, it'll actually go over top of the one we just put on. Everybody thinks they're a NASCAR driver. They're tucked in against the window there. So now, if any water gets back here and it decides that it's going to run down this edge here, it'll come down, it'll go over top of that edge there. And I may have to throw a couple staples in this to make sure the wind doesn't blow it off, because it's not sticking real well. But that seam is under that there, and I will trim that little extra off. And then the top piece will go over top of this, so it ensures it doesn't get in behind that one. Let's get her on there. Oh wait, we gotta get another side piece on first, don't we? That'll be our last piece for this window. We'll trim off our excess. Probably throw a staple or two in it. I know that a lot of you guys might say, well, it defeats the purpose. Well, if the wind blows it off, it's absolutely useless. If I put a staple or two in it so that it doesn't get blown off, at least it'll be here and it'll protect us from moisture getting down in behind it. One, two, three, four. That one didn't stick very well. One in the middle of each. Now, that stuff shouldn't come off there. The wind might loosen it up a little bit, but it'll always be here for me to put back down like that right there. Whenever I go to finish it, put the finish covering on it, it'll be there. Well, all right, it's pushing 4 o'clock. We've got some things we got to do with the kids tonight. I don't get full days here on the castle, so I get done what I can get done. Hopefully I'll have some full days coming soon. But as you guys saw, we got the plywood on, the house wrap on, and one window installed. The next thing is going to be framing up the remaining doors, framing out the remaining openings that the doors are in. So hopefully you guys like the video, and as always, like, comment, subscribe.